and welcome in again to Your Health. And we have Pam Green back with us from Baptist, a major dietitian. Actually, you're kind of a guru of everything healthy, and I love it. And we were talking before about choices that are healthy and what you put into your body. And let's talk about the things that we need to do to get a healthier life.
Sure. We believe at our center that everything in moderation. So just a couple of things. If you find a diet out there, and there are lots of them out on the internet, and it cuts out a food group, that is a major red flag for us, because all foods can fit in moderation, so you need to check out those meal plans. If I were just to do some blanket things, I would say look at what you drink. Think about your drink. We don't want to drink sugar. We don't want to drink calories. We do a lot of that in the South. So this year, the 2025 nutritional guidelines, for the first time ever, has said to us, let's encourage water.
Wow.
Before we've been doing any non-calorie drink, and now they said, let's encourage water. I am aware that people rarely drink just water, so I would say for those few things you need to taste for, anything that doesn't have calories, a diet, a zero, a Crystal Light. There's a plethora of good tasting beverages out there that will not increase your calorie load.
So I've got an interesting question to ask you, because we have an ongoing two questions. First of all, how much water is good? No, that seems to vacillate from 8 glasses a day to a certain amount. What's the best amount?
Sure, and there really is no one. That 8 is a good general guideline, but it really goes with your body weight. And so if you can get the 8 glasses of water a day, good for you. So even that is a good goal to get. And some people, they just don't like the taste of water. I can understand that. And so even if you put a little bit of flavor in it, if you put a little lemon in it, just a tad of juice, maybe drop a cucumber or a pineapple piece in there just to flavor it, that is still water, and that is still beautiful.
So what's the benefit of all that water?
We need to be hydrated so our body works well. The kidneys filter a lot of things, and in my world, we look at that blood sugar. So to be hydrated allows it to do its job in flushing out some of the blood sugar. And so to be hydrated, especially if you talk to an athlete, that is very important so that your body functions at peak performance.
You know, the other thing it's good for is your skin.
Yes, plumps up those skins.
Yeah, because when you're in a real dry climate, your skin tends to sort of leatherize and wrinkle faster. That's one good thing about the humidity in the South, Pam. At least it's good for our skin.
It is.
But when you mentioned diet drinks, there are a lot of people that have a lot of questions about that and about artificial sweeteners. Let's see if we can sort of clear a little of that up.
So that is a big topic, because a lot of people are striving to do what's good, and they're drinking a diet soda or something like that. And so all I tell them is that tomorrow they may tell me as an organization not to drink those cause harm, but today they haven't given me any proof. We have several small studies, and there are several doctors that don't like their clients to drink anything with sweeteners, and that's fine. Certainly you err on the safer side when you do that, but for right now, in moderation, I think those are okay choices to make.
So if you're going to have 2 sodas every day, why don't you just have 1 soda and 1 glass of water?
Right. Make sure
Start
you're
in little steps.
An equal amount of water, or if not more.
But what else would you tell people to cut out?
I would say look at your processed food, and that's so hard because in America we're about convenience. Anything in a box is probably going to have a little bit more salt than we need, and so I would say to people to limit their processed stuff. And again, that goes back to I'm going to have to cook a little bit at home, or I'm going to have to get some more natural things, but to limit their snacking and their processed things that come out of a bag or a box. And what you're doing there is you're limiting a little bit more of your sodium, which affects your blood pressure.
So I've had people ask me, well, define processed. What do you mean when you say processed foods?
Generally, if it has a lot of ingredients on that box, or if it's in a box itself, that's been processed. You know, plants, fruits, and vegetables that are in their whole state, there's nothing added to them because they're just whole, that is not processed. But the more that you make that ready to eat or add things to it or several ingredients on that list, probably a little bit more processed.
I know I've been a lot more careful about ham or packaged meat, even from
Salt.
even from the deli.
Sure.
You know, because of salt.
Yeah.
Salt and folks check about added sugars. That's amazing.
Sure.
Wow. What about sugar? That's going to be my final question. Let's
So-
talk about sugar.
So again, remember where my world comes from. I come from the diabetes world, and that's what I teach at the Center for Diabetes. And so we look at carbohydrates,
Okay.
because all carbohydrate foods turn into sugar and affect that blood sugar level. But for people who don't have diabetes, yes, it's good to look at that label, the added sugar, because I don't want a lot added if I can. They're finding out all kinds of things, heart-wise, weight-wise, things that we probably don't need. And again, it all gets back to, I'm going to have to maybe buy a little bit in the grocery or cook a little at home, include a little bit more vegetables or fruits.
Okay.
You know, to
Okay.
avoid some of the processed things, to avoid the added sugar.
Well, that's pretty easy and that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. You know,
Good.
I'm going to listen.
Good.
And I hope that you folks will. And we're going to be back next time. We're going to talk about losing weight and about
One
obesity.
step at a time.
Yeah. So we'll just do it one step at a time. But look forward to getting healthier next week. And thank you for being with us.